Charlie.
Bloody yeah, oi, Charlie. You hear how Spencer sound? He sound like he's got a frog in his throat.
I know what you're ill, Spence. Got the flu.
He's drunk out all my honey.
Yeah, trust me. My voice.
Hey,
is
the
just kinda
podcast is taking its toll on his voice.
yeah, he's not. Oh, he ain't ready for the action. I keep telling you, Spencer, he's found his match. Anyway,
I don't know what's happened, but regardless of that, thanks for all the listeners who tuned in on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
There you go.
Yep, Spencer the Knowledge Fearon with Baba Tunde Ajayi, the master genius.
No, Spencer the frog knowledge. I sound like a frog. Oh, tight now. All right, let's get serious. Fire away, Spence. Go on.
Yeah, Charlie, man. You've recently relinquished your WBC crown. Was that emotionally? Was that draining on you?
Oh yeah, 100%. It killed me, to be honest. Like, as a fighter, you know, every fighter wants to defend their crown until the end. But this last 12 months has really took a massive toll on me mentally and especially physically, making that flyweight limit again, dropping. I moved up in 2016 after the Casemiro defeat because I really struggled back then. And the fact is I got bigger in the next 2 years. Yes. And then I got the opportunity to fight for a world title, and with everything going shit really with the Yafai fight and getting messed around for 2 years, I was jumping at any opportunity as a big fight. So dropping it back down, I made the weight comfortably to start with against Rosales. I felt I'd done it very well. I was comfortable at that, and then as the next few fights went on, the time took its toll on my body. You know, like going in, not being able to go out of camp and relax, let your body recuperate and recover, because I had in the back of my mind,
yes,
I'm going to grow too big, I'm going to go too big, and then I've got to lose 10, 11 kilos to get back down. And it was just a bit of head messing, mental strain on me. So releasing the belt, especially after that, what happened to me, to be fair, what happened to me in that ring was a blessing in disguise, I believe. And it just goes to prove that I cannot physically make that weight anymore. My health was on the line. It was after the weigh-in, even going to the weigh-in, I can't really remember the weigh-in day. Wow. I think I had an interview with Sky Sports straight after I weighed in, and to this day I still can't remember what I even said. All I can remember is when he asked me the question, I froze. So I know I was severely weight gained. After I rehydrated and drunk and everything, my body took a bit of shock. I had to go straight to my bed and get my head down for an hour, and my coach had to come and knock me up and check on me and make sure I was all right.
So
Charlie, after the fight.
Sorry, big up Charlie anyway. Charlie Edwards. But Charlie, you used to box for the Holiday, innit?
Yeah, back in the day, a long time ago with Gary Howe.
I remember I used to go Holiday and see you, and it's so funny.
Years ago now.
Years ago,
where did years go?
And I remember, it's so mad because I think when you first turned pro, did you used to come up to the Peacock with your old man?
Yeah. Well, I was with when I first turned pro, I was with Brian O'Shaughnessy, and he was up at the Peacock a few times. So we used to come up, and that's where I can't remember back in the Holiday days. But that's where I definitely met you properly in the Peacock, and.
Because I was a roadman them time there. I was a roadman.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
You know, when you're a roadman, you're like, I'm going to try this boxing thing. I'm telling you, see me.
I think I did see you down the Holiday. It was Ali shuffling around the gym.
Come on. Because you know when you come off the roads.
With them red boots.
And you've been watching boxing. I remember the red boots, the red Adidas boots. And you say, man, this is easy. This game's easy. You come in there off the road.
I have a bit of this.
Yeah, I have a bit. You watch all the Mike Tyson fights, you think this is easy. Then you get the blooded nose and the water eyes, and then you start reconsidering what's going on. But I'm an energies person, and the reason why I made reference to that is because I remember when you came into Peacock, I always, and I don't think you've changed that much now. You know, you're not a loud person or outspoken person. You keep yourself to yourself, very respectful. But I remember the energy, and energy something I spoke about with Spencer on the show before about Josh Taylor. there's certain individuals, the energy is coming from there. You was one of those guys. So
nah, it's real. I'm a big believer in energy. Like, you get people who walk into the room and you can radiate off them straight away, and you get drawn to them. 100%.
Trust me. Yeah, and you know, it's amazing for me to see you know, your rise and your brother as well. Your brother's a character. I love it. You know, he's one of my supporters.
We're like chalk and cheese, me and my brother. He's the character. I'm just a humble.
yeah. But you know,
now your brother's got swag, you know.
I love him.
He's cool,
swag.
man.
He's got swag.
He's got it. He's got everything from his fight wear attire to his style to his movement to his chat to his tweeting. He's that's why we call him Sonny Showtime.
So who was actually boxing? You know, you know me. I'm about the positive side of this sport, and I'm very interested to know what was your motivation in getting into the sport of boxing, and was you actually boxing before your brother?
Yeah, I was boxing. I started at 11, and then my brother he couldn't come in the gym because he was too young, so he come in like after begging and pleading about 8 months after me. So he started. I think he started at about when I turned 12. He started at 9.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of how it started. But then we only done it really to, like, I was short on like puppy fatty when I was a kid. I was scared to take my top off, and I only really done it to lose a bit of weight, and I kind of got the bug for it, and just carried on from there. Like, after about 6 months, the coach at the time was always like, it was an old boy from Roundshaw,
Yes.
where kind of like around the area where I grew up, and he was like, oh, one day, boy, you're going to be a world champion, and that kind of just sunk into my mind, and I just believed it from there, and just carried on pushing all the way.
Hold on, wait there. Dream it, believe it, become it. That's what happens. That's what happens
That
to
is
you.
it.
That's what
After
happens to you,
leave
Charlie.
receive, baby.
Dream it. Spence.
Listen, man. I remember, like, you in the amateurs.
Yeah.
I remember, like, you came in on Sky one time when I was on the show. We did the show together, and you was
Spence,
talking
you
about.
sound like Barry White.
Yeah, I know. And you was talking about, hey, I love it, baby.
Who are you talking about?
And you was talking about how it was in the amateurs with you and Yafai. And when you used to spar, he could kind of boss you a little bit. Then eventually you started to come into your own.
Oh, 100%. When I sparred him, when we was on the GB squad, I just got up to the podium squad. I was a 17-year-old little naive boy coming up 48 kilos, walking around at like 49 kilos, and he had been to the Olympics. He was a 52 kilo fighter. He was well experienced, and at the first when I went up there, because I was new, jumping in the ring like being naive. He obviously it's his playground, isn't it? So I've come and knew.
Hello?
And I ain't afraid to admit it. He used to hit me. He used to punch holes in me, hit me with body shots. He dropped me, I think, once or twice when I first got on the squad.
With
body shots. Mate, it was sickening. But it toughened me up. And then slowly, I had that in the back of my mind and kept grinding, kept working. And towards the end, I started getting his number and started winning and taking a few rounds off him. Good few rounds. And he was in the pro game then. And then that's when I realised, like, right, one day I'm going to have you back.
Yes.
And I still hold that I still hold them words now, and it'll be a fight that I still want. I wanted it a year and a half ago, and I still want it now.
What weight is Yafai?
He's at Super Flyweight now.
Superfly, and Charlie just moved up to Superfly.
Okay.
So moved up.
So
yeah,
that would be the fight.
He's a potential fight and a big British fight as well.
Yeah, and
I'm not sure what's going on with him because he was supposed to talks about unification with Estrada, but that's gone all quiet again.
I remember that talk.
Saying that kind of stuff for ages now.
I think it's a no-brainer because he's got the WBA Super Flyweight title. So to me, that's a no-brainer.
Well, this is called The Fight Is Right.
Yep, so we're going to put
promoters, get your hats together. Charlie Edwards wants it. We want the fight.
I think everyone wants it. Eddie Hearn even wants it. He tried to make it. The only person that don't really want it, I think, is him. He sees me as that. When I called him out time ago, I can see why, because I was no one.
Hold on. We got a fight in there. We got a fight in there. Come on, count your fight. Well, we gotta get count on this thing here because Charlie is saying he wants this fight. So, it's an all British blockbuster.
Why would you beat him?
Good question.
Why would I beat him? I just believe that my style is made for his. He's slow-footed, and he comes in straight lines. And with anyone that moves, as you see when he boxed in Monaco, someone's moved against him. He struggled real bad. Real bad. And it's always said, I've got his range, I've got his distance, I've got his number. I've shared thousands of rounds with him. And me personally, I believe when he developed more into a pro, but it actually made him slower footed, and he likes someone in front of him to kind of tuck up and let him unload. But like hitting along off the jab,
Charlie, don't give away the game plan because I'm
not giving away no game plan. He knows the game plan.
I want this fight and I want my 10%. I want the fight. I want my 10% because we're making this fight.
100%. But when we saw on for you in the footwork and the movement, when you won the WBC title against Rosales, that was so impressive.
Masterclass.
Right, that was so impressive. And I remember I was being around ringside and seeing Lee Eaton from MTK Global. So I got to big up MTK Global because they're our family. Bottom line, how you box in that, I thought that style you could fight anyone in the world and come out successful. That hit and hop it, how you gauge, you try and freeze on fours. But then there's certain times you try and freeze on fours and you come back with a left hook to make the last punch be the left hook. Not many fighters do that, but you was doing it. When you try and left hook, you had your right hand really up. You had your right hand really up high just in case there's to throw back the left hook. And I'm saying, yeah. And I said, this kid, he's done his studying. Because was it the Casemiro fight where you came up unfortunately short in that fight when you fought for the world title? That was way too early. I remember I remember
that. I was like, oh, what's he fighting for?
Yeah. To me, it's like you just turned pro last week.
Eight fights in, jumping straight in. I was naive to the sport. That's all. But that was, as again, when I say blessings in disguise, another blessing in disguise, because that's what really made me reevaluate myself, what I needed to do, and I went away and believed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And I think you realize a true fighter, when they come back and suffer a defeat like that and be able to push again.
100%. Because, I say it and I keep saying it, experience is something you can't buy, borrow, or pretend to have.
For sure.
I want to finish off talking about, I've seen that, the closeness you and Charlie have with your mother. And to me, looking from the outside, it seems that she's a big part of your motivation and your inspiration in the sport of boxing. Can you tell us a little bit, tell the listeners on The Fight Is Right about how your mother inspires you personally, individually in this sport?
Yeah, for sure. My mum is the biggest inspiration in my life. The reality is she shouldn't be here today. She's gone through 3 major head operations where each time we've been told to prepare for the worst, and like we've said our goodbyes on 3 different occasions. She come through a journey of being where she ultimately disabled. She's still disabled now, but she couldn't even talk or walk or anything. And she got back to the point where she could walk with help again and stuff like that. And then she went straight back. It happened again, and she went straight back to basically not being able to do anything again. She's had to come back again from it. So she's never given up, and it just proves to show whatever you go through in life, you got to keep believing. You can't give up. There's people in worse situations than all of us.
Wait there, just stop. I'm going to have to press it again. Serious. And the people need to listen to this. Don't give up. Charlie, sorry. You know me, I get emotional and I start.
No, it's true.
Come again.
Everyone goes through their own hardships and struggles, but there's always going to be someone out there who's going through a lot worse. And the people that don't give up, like God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers, and you've got to keep pushing and pushing.
Benjamin. Oh no, wait, man, wait. You're getting me hype. I'm gonna pull out my soapbox in a minute and start.
No.
Come on, Charlie. Come on, please. Carry on. Sorry,
bruv.
This is serious.
Got a new role out here.
Bruv, it's motivating to me because the mother. It's serious, but sorry. I gotta let you talk. Because someone on the show said, fuck that, sorry. Someone on the show said, bloody yo, that Tunde, he won't let them talk. So, but come on, sorry. Carry on, Charlie, please.
But yeah, she's the person, no matter how, like, to be her fair, if it wasn't for boxing, I could have gone a very, very downward spiral with everything that happened to my mum. And with what happened to my mum, I've put in all the energy and frustration into my boxing career, which has helped me push, and she's my reason why, because I want to make her happy, want to see her smile. So when I did win the world, like the first time I got beat for my world title, it killed me and crushed me because I promised her the belt. But with everything that she gone through, how could I give up? How could I let a defeat trouble me? I had to bite down on my gun to come back harder.
Man. Just press that 10.
Listen, man. It's a good job I don't pick up guns, because there will be all holes in my wall right now. Charlie,
you know we got the Sundance kid, but Tunde is the Cocoa kid. He's the Cocoa Butter kid because his face is very, very shiny. But that's God's shine.
Clean heart, clean skin. I keep telling them, Charlie.
100%.
But listen, it's been an honor and pleasure. And listen, you're a young man who's I'm sure is motivation and inspiration to many, many people. And just the way you and your brother are conducting yourselves. You say you're chalk and cheese, but listen, there's always two sides to a coin, and as long as the coins are positive, that's all I care about. But yeah, I would
say thank you as well. Thank you for having me on the show, because since what happened to me that night, no one's really been asked, and that's the fickle world that we kind of live in. So I really appreciate your love you show me.
Charlie, let me tell you this. Two things. Number one is this: you're South London, right?
South London all the way.
Where you come from.
Yeah, right. Number one, you're South London. Number two, you know music, right? Number three, which is number one, you always honor your mother. And I mean, I'm a big believer. Scripture says, honor your mother and your father so your days on the earth can be long.
Long.
Brother, you're going to live for a very long time.
Come on.
And may the universe continue to bless you. I don't care what you want to call the higher being, but whatever you call it, you call it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Continue to win.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Visualize to materialize, and you'll keep on doing
full gratitude to everything that comes our ways. Everything's from a higher source, God, whatever anyone believes in, it's all from the higher source.
Can I just say, wait a minute. You got bear caps today, but can I just say, I haven't really spoken to you on a personal level since, you understand? Maybe hello or goodbye. But after listening to you this evening, you got a new lifelong fan in Tunde Ajayi. Trust me.
There's no shock or coincidence that we're on this call. So we will be going out for a bit of breakfast after a peacock training session.
That's it. Come on. Dream it. Believe it. Become it. Oh, then Charlie Edwards, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Oh, man. You got us hype.
You got us hype. Talking to the former WBC Flyweight champion and the future WBC, WBA, IBF, IBO, WBO, and every other O that's got an organization behind it and a W in front of it.
Yes, sir.
Charlie Edwards at Super Flyweight. Cal Yafai.
Come on.
I'm coming for you.
Don't back down, Cal. Don't back down. We need you. We're going to get Cal on this thing here.
100%.
Have to get him on the show. Again, thank you very much, Charlie. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks so much.
Big up.
Cheers.
Remember to like, comment and subscribe to the Stamina for Sale YouTube channel.